We've had a really busy week this week. We've got 15 cars for you, new arrivals. We've got 5 bikes, and we're going to take you around them all now.
I think Jim's just about to introduce you guys to the first car, actually, aren't you, Jim?
I am. So with no further ado, let's go look at the first car. Right, the first car is, well, tell you what do you think it is? It's very, very special. This car was built in 2017. It has got race history. It's actually got a couple of track records as well, I believe. Actually, I'll tell you what it is. It's called a Spire. Now, this car runs a Suzuki 1000 GSXR engine. This thing is electric. It's frightening. So, come and have a look at it. It comes with a selection of parts and accessories, different wheels, wet tyres, I believe, and most importantly, a trailer with a winch that comes with it. But what a machine. Do you know what? I don't know how much fun you could have with your pants on in this car. It is just amazing. But what we'll do now, we'll go and look at another car while Jimmy tries to get himself out of this. This might take some time. We'll be back.
Next up, we have this beautiful little Mercedes SLK 230 Kompressor. These days, a lot of the SLKs of this kind of era getting a little bit tatty. This one isn't. Beautiful colour. Only 33,000 miles, only 3 owners. Black leather interior and a service history to die for. We've got 18 consecutive services from Mercedes at the beginning of its life, and then subsequent owners have looked after it in the same sort of manner. Jeff?
Thank you, your lordship. Here we have a very nice MG Metro in white. Now, Tim would love this. And if he was here, we'd probably spend a good 15 minutes talking about this. And then we'd get on to other parts of the car. But it's just come in, it's fabulous. Nice low mileage it's showing. Factory sunroof. It's probably a bit better because it's got the colour-coded wheel centres and the MG badging down the side. So it's a very standard factory car. So yeah, nice thing is this. Then we go on to an MGB GT.
Now, let me stop you there. If I were up for election in the autumn, and I'm not, top of my manifesto would be that everyone should be mandated to have an MGB at some point in their lives. This is really your kind of intro to classic cars, isn't it?
Yes.
It ticks every box. It's easy to work on, plentiful supply of them, parts are easy to get hold of, and there are marvellous owners clubs that will help you out if you need any assistance. So this is a great gateway car, isn't it, Jim?
It is, and as we've said before, something that we're big on here at Manor Park Classics is getting the younger generation into classic car motoring because it's important. It's also a lot of fun, and in this day and age, who wants to sit on a computer when you can have a play with something like this? So, as Lord Damian says, this is a great, great starter car. This one's particularly nice in red, favourite colour of mine. And I think the gold wheels really set it off, and the chrome on it is lovely. And it's got the Webasto style sunroof. So yeah, a lot of car is this. Right, this one is an RS Turbo S2 on a G plate, so it's 8990. The car is left-hand drive. Okay, not a problem for everyone, it's for some. The car's Italian, that's where it came from, but it's done a very low mileage. It's beautiful, the seats are nice, the interior is good, factory sunroof, the paintwork is beautiful on it. Never going to guarantee it's original, but it appears it could well be. But it's a beautiful, beautiful car. If you've got something in Italy, Spain, Portugal, your holiday home, this would be a great car to have parked outside and have a bit of a play with it.
I think the other thing, Jim, is I've run a left-hand drive car, and it's amazing how quickly you get used to it.
Yes, yeah.
You know, once you've driven it, a couple of days, you're in the groove of things, and you just know where you are on the road. It can be a little bit difficult getting the tickets out the far side or your Big Mac. But other than that, you might have to run around for those. But other than that, I say you soon forget. It ceases to be a problem.
You do. And if the mood took you, and I've seen this done many times, you could actually convert it to right-hand drive. It's not such a big job as you may think. So that is an option. Now then, that's a bit of you, isn't it?
Oh, I do like these things. These are beautiful. Such an elegant shape, and the pillarless design, when it's all opened up like this, looks fantastic. This is a 230 CE.
It is.
And for one of these, well, it's been a while since I've seen one as nice as this.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you agree with that?
I agree.
I mean,
it's lovely.
you know, very often they're quite badly afflicted by rust. This one looks very, very nice. And even things like the back window, which delaminates, lets in water, looks all clear.
Looks all clear, and I've never quite seen one in silver.
No, you kind of associate silver with Mercedes, don't you?
Not these.
But not this particular model. They're all black or the blue colours.
Or the blue.
And I think it particularly suits it. I mean, the two-tone, sets it off, doesn't it?
It does.
What a solid car.
Oh.
What you could just use this as a daily, or you can keep it polished in your garage for shows, weekends, whatever.
Yep.
It just ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
It does. But before we go any further on, what we're going to do now is we're going to get Jimmy the bike involved, and he's going to talk to you about a few bikes. And then we'll come back to a few cars, and then we'll go back to a few bikes. So, Jimmy, over to you.
We've got a lovely trio of Triumphs in from a avid collector of ours. A 1962 beautiful T90, and then two 1964. This one obviously being the daddy T500. This one's a Triumph Thunderbird, and then these two lovely little cubs here, T90s. Both of these were restored by the same chap, so as you can see, the paintwork is really good. Completely original machines, and both very low mileage. In fact, 0 mileage since restoration. And as you can see on the more of a Big Daddy version, this bike again has been restored with most of its integrity. The seat and everything and the lines are completely original, so it's a restored original seat, and the paint you can see on the tank there is absolutely beautiful.
Now look at this. We've got two of these in the sale actually, but this one is left-hand drive, and what makes it a little bit different is it's got a Corvair engine. And it's a work of art when you see how the engine's being fitted in the rear of this camper van. But anyway, it goes very, very quickly and very, very loudly. Great big bit of fun, this. As I say, it's left-hand drive. Not quite sure where it came from, but it is wearing Californian plates. And the fact that the car has an American Corvair engine in it, I'm guessing, but who knows? We can check that out for you, because it's only just come in, so we don't know for sure. Great colour combination. Yes, it does need a bit of getting at here and there, of course it does, but that's part of the fun. Or, which is a big thing now with these type of vehicles, is people leave them to the art. A bit of a shabby chic thing, but anyway, that's your choice. But this has just come in, it's lovely, it's great, it goes well, makes a great noise, and it's a whole lot of fun. And then I think we'll go back to Jimmy, because this is a very, very favourite bike of mine. This is a beautiful AJS,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
and
Tell me
definitely
about
not something
this.
you see every day, is it?
No.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we tend to see nowadays tend to be a play on a Frankenstein. And if you sat there or stood there thinking, you've seen quite a few trials versions of these bikes, I guarantee you won't have seen an original one like this. I mean, this one's a 1957, completely restored, and actually the motor needs breaking in on this one in order to ride it. There's a couple of little details in this one that I think are really formidable about this machine. One thing I really like is the fact that this saddle is completely original, actually supplied by Dunlop, and it's still got the tag on the back there. It's even still got the original decals on the actual mudguards that were supplied from the manufacturer. Locally supplied bike. If you've ever rode one of these, they sound absolutely fantastic. And with their push rod system, loads, not so much on the brake horsepower, but low end integral torque, really torquey bike, really go on the throttle, and an absolute pleasure to ride. And this one is in perfect working order, and again, makes it a lot more rare than anything else you normally see out there.
It's just such a pretty bike.
It is.
It'd be a shame to ride it. It's something that needs to go in your living room.
It needs to go in a man cave or a she shed. And also as well, we have she sheds nowadays, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, also on these as well, that I do like to add is, this one, unlike other ones, has still got its lights. So usually, even if you find an MC16 MC like this, AJS, and it is in good condition, it's never got its lights on it, which I'm sure you'll agree. And this one's all there, and it's available, and it's going to be a great purchase for somebody.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Damo,
beautiful.
are you going to take them onto the Morgan?
As is this. This is beautiful, just in a different way. Now, this is just fabulous. I've been outside with this today. We've been doing our little videos that we put on for every single car, little driving video, and this thing sounds awesome.
I did hear it. I was in here and I could hear it.
It's actually got it's got exhausts which stick out the sides just for maximum aural appeal. I mean, it's fantastic. I think is it plus 8?
Yes, I think it is. As you say, I've not done much about it today, but
I think it actually arrived this morning, in fairness
it
to
did
us. So
late morning, so we haven't had a chance to
So-
do much with it, but she's beautiful, isn't she?
I mean, there will be full details, obviously, on the website, won't there,
will.
in the coming days. www.manorparkclassics.com. So keep an eye, if you're interested in this one, keep an eye on that, because there'll be a full write-up and a set of pictures early next week. But no, I mean, that is...
It is pretty with the wire wheels, the roll cage, the boot rack. It's just everything a Morgan should be about.
And it's right in the green, isn't it?
And it's British Racing Green. It's
wooden steering wheel, black leather. I mean, it's it's what you think of when you think of a Morgan, isn't it?
It's just a traditional British car, which leads me on to traditional British car.
Nice segue.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
There you go. This is a 2003 Jaguar XKR Coupe. This is the 4.2 litre engine, which is the better engine than the 4 litre, and it comes with a 6-speed gearbox. The car is, I'm not quite sure what the colour's called, but it's an individual paint colour. It does say on the heritage certificate which comes with the car. The wheels have been coloured. They don't leave the factory like that. However, it does work, but they are the original 20-inch Detroit wheels, and it is wearing a brand spanking set of Pirelli P0 tyres, which must have cost a king's ransom on one of these things.
Yeah, but
I dread to think.
you want quality rubber on a car like this.
You do.
What's this putting out? What sort of power?
It's a touch over 400 brake horsepower. It's reputed to do 180 miles per hour. Braver man than me, it would do that. But it's absolutely beautiful. So this is a very, very nice car. And then onto one of your favourites, I believe.
Oh, do like a Capri. Always like a Capri. This is a 1.6 laser on a, what are we on? On a D plate.
86.
Yeah. The colour is just fantastic.
It's
isn't it?
amazing.
I mean, you don't, again, you see, certain colours over and over again, but red seems to be one, doesn't come up so much with these lasers, does it?
It wasn't, it'd been back in the 80s, it wasn't the colour to have. It's like the Mercedes, it's an unusual car and an unusual colour, which makes it quite rare. But the quality of the paintwork is fabulous.
It is, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Because these lights in here are quite unforgiving.
They are.
And, they really show up a poor paint job, but they show up a great paint job. And this is lovely, isn't it?
It's fabulous. It's beautiful.
It's,
And it's correct specification, the right wheels, the right interior.
You were going to say the right wheels.
I've got to think about wheels, but it's the right wheels, right interior. The interior is lovely. It's in great condition. The engine bay is very well detailed. This is well worth a look. This is very much a future classic because, as we know, fast Fords are, the way 30s, 40s.
Their own.
Oh yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands. The Capri hasn't quite gone yet, and yet is the big word there. So this is one to look at.
Yes. Porsche. Is it
Well,
Porsche or Porsche?
I'd say Porsche, but we'll leave that. Maybe people can ask you messages in and tell us that.
I think it's meant to be Porsche, but I feel a bit strange saying that. I don't know why.
I think it depends where you come from.
Yeah, maybe.
I think in Runcorn it's Porsche.
Yeah, in the House of Lords, I'm sure they'd probably say Porsche.
Well, yes. What we should do actually is, if we ever got one of these, go to Downing Street and take an opinion. That might be quite good, mightn't it? You might get differing opinions.
Downing Street, I would expect very differing opinions, but there you go. This, back to the
You
car.
drove this, haven't you?
Back to the car.
You
I
drove this
today for the videos. This is quite special, actually, because it's had a few subtle modifications. I mean, externally, it looks very standard, doesn't it?
Yeah, and internally.
Absolutely classic Porsche, silver, black leather, just how you'd want it to be. But that exhaust is something else. That
Is it a
exhaust.
sports exhaust?
It's a sports exhaust. It sounds fantastic. There's a short shifter, I believe.
Wow.
And that is just lovely. And the whole thing just hangs together beautifully. That's a fantastic car. What we talk about, 2005, I think.
No, 2006, is it?
It's 55 plates.
55
But
plates.
I'll defer to your
I think it is.
knowledge on it.
Because I was talking to the vendor about it, and it is a 997 Gen 1, which is the one to have. The history on this car, he did show it to me, and halfway through, I think I got a bit bored because the history file that's with it is immense. It's been serviced every 2 years on the button. First 6 services are Porsche Bolton, and the last 2 are done by Jasmine Porsche Link, who are one of the country's leading Porsche specialists.
Jasmine Porsche Link, you want to see that type of stamp. If
You
you're
do.
looking at independence.
You do.
Northwest, we're a bit spoilt in the Northwest, aren't we?
We
With some
are.
great independents, and Jasmine are one of them. Yeah, what a fantastic
What a lovely car. And not a lot of money for what it is, but anyway, we'll see. And then...
Did you have one of these, Jim? Back in period?
I was going to say I wasn't old enough, but yes,
Yes,
I did.
you were.
Thank you. Yes, I did. I had several of these.
Should we go and stand by the car?
Let's go and stand by the car. Yeah, way back in the 80s. The only thing was they weren't mine. They were company cars, so can't claim all the glory. This car has come out of a collection. It's showing just shy of 3,000 miles on the clock, which the vendor tells us is correct. It could well be. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, the interior, there's no speakers being put in it. It's not being messed with. It's completely and utterly like it has just left the showroom. So this is one that you need to come and have a look at, because again, like we said with the Capri, the fast forward market is very, very, very much all about the correct cars, and we think this is the correct car. But you need to come and see this. It's a special thing. And then a BMW.
Now, Z3s are, I think, criminally underrated.
Yes.
You know, as a design, I think it's dated incredibly well. I think it's aged incredibly well. And this is the one you want, because this is a 2.8.
This is the one.
You know, glorious, creamy, straight six, manual gearbox. Again, silver. German cars, silver. They just suit it, don't they?
The red leather's different, though.
The red leather is lovely because it's a dark red leather, isn't it? It's very sumptuous. It looks great. And this is a nice example. It's on these very attractive alloys. The spaces maybe on the back, do you think?
Possibly, yeah.
It's looking
Because
particularly nicely spaced out.
it sounds very well.
Its stance is good, isn't it?
Yes, it
so,
is.
you know, you know what, that's not going to be expensive, is it?
No.
That's not going to be expensive.
Not
I'd
yet.
say- yeah, because their time has not yet come. But what a great thing for the summer.
Ooh.
How cool would you look? If, you know, with the hair blowing in the wind like Freddie.
You leave my hair alone. So, no, this is, yeah, this is one to have. And as you say, it's one for the future, and they are very underrated. But yes, very reliable. And then, how
There's
cute.
always a mini. There's always a mini, isn't there?
Well, how cute is that? How cute is that?
It's pretty damn cool, isn't it?
How rare is that? It is. It's a mini pickup. It's, again, British Racing Green with a white roof. Again, on a W plate. So it's probably a Leyland Mini. Apologies, Tim, if you sat there next to the pool and you've just spilt your pina colada and I've got it wrong, but I believe it is a Leyland Mini. It's beautiful. It'll make an interesting car for somebody because there are not many of these about. There weren't many sold when they were new for various reasons. If you think about it, a mini pickup didn't quite work if you think about what they were meant to do.
Practical thing,
No, not at all. However, that's great because that makes them very, very desirable now. So this one is well worth a look as well. Great little car. Right, I'm going to hand you over now to our Uncle Fester lookalike, who's going to tell you about the rest of the bikes that have come in to join us. Fester.
Cheers, Jim. Now let's talk about trials bikes for a minute, something a little bit different. So in front of you, this bike is a absolutely lovely 89. This one is a Honda TLR 200, and unlike the market at the time, which was flooded with 300cc and 250c two-strokes, Honda was clever enough to come up with a TL engine, which was a 4-cylinder. So this bike is far more reliable than other bikes that are in that era of an enduro sort of motorcycle. In fact, the owner of this bike last year has done several enduro races on this one, and due to its slightly oversized tank, as you can see, this bike actually holds about 100 miles, and that's when you're giving it some throttle. And with the average enduro race in the UK being about 80 miles, unlike a two-stroke, you can do this on one tank and it's not going to give you any problems. This bike's been fitted with some nice new tyres. It's road legal, and you can still see the winding rack on the top there from the gentleman that's just had it on the last enduro race. The lights are still intact, and as you can see on the side, he's got the reflectors on there because it is in fact an American import. So yeah, bike's good to go, completely runs, in fact just had a service and is ready for a new owner, this one, which brings us on to something ever so slightly different. So this one's a Norton Dominator. and it's a early 50s one. And in fact, they built these from 500 to 750cc. This one is a 750cc bike, and the motors were that bulletproof in these bikes that this bike saw nearly 40 years of production from the start of the 1940s to almost 1980. This particular bike you're looking in front of you is completely original and has been lovingly restored by a good friend of our local Norton dealership. So you know that if you're going to have a punt on this one, you're getting the real deal. And if Phil just comes in a little bit closer, it's got something really lovely there, which is its first tax disc from 1952. So that's all for the motorcycles. However, I think the two Craze twins has got a few more cars to show you. So I'll just hand you back over to them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We've got more. Lead on.
Thank you very much. Come on, follow us. Right, here we
First
go.
Range Rover, do you think?
Yes, got the Range Rover, because you know all about this one, don't you?
I know a bit. Came in this morning, so, you know, I'll do my best. Actually, this would have scared you back in the day, because this was a police Range Rover. And if you saw this in your rearview mirror, you were in trouble.
I may well have done.
This very one. Yeah, this is an ex-police Range Rover. It's got the 3.9 litre V8, and being police spec, it's slightly unusual because it's a manual, which I think probably makes it.
It's what it should have been, probably,
Well,
in some
yes.
respects.
Well, they certainly were back in the 70s when they first arrived, weren't they?
Yeah.
We didn't put autos in them back then. So it's a lovely car. It needs a bit of work. There's a few jobs to do. It's getting a little bit tatty around the rear quarters, but there's a fantastic project to be had there. And yeah, it's a beast of a car.
It is, and the good thing about being a police car, at least you know in the early days, it was maintained to an inch of its life.
Well,
so it's
yes.
a good thing about police cars.
And this one's been dinitroled recently underneath as well.
Oh, special.
So somebody, you know, has wanted to look after the solid bits of this car, you know, and left a few jobs for the next person.
Yes, yeah. And this is a lovely 1965 Jaguar S-Type. Now, if you look at the car, it appears to be as everything it should be. However, it has been modded, which isn't a bad thing, by the way, to give it some features that make it more drivable for modern conditions. But have a look on the website, as Jimmy said earlier on, www.manorparkclassics.com, and it's all there about what's been done to the car. It's well worth a look because this is quite an unusual thing. It can be put back to standard if that is your thing. However, if you want one that is already standard, there's this one. Now this is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful car. It's a great colour combination. I think grey with red leather is very much of the 1960s, and it's gone through. And it's something that I always associate with classy cars. I don't know what you think, Damian. What's your thoughts?
I agree. It's a fantastic colour combination for a Jaguar. Again, like you say, classy car. I'm going to open the can of worms again, though.
Oh, go on.
Wires or steel wheels with trims. I'm going to tell you where I am first. I'm going to tell you where I am first. Steel wheels with trims.
Why?
I just think it carries on that classy look. I think it's just, you know, particularly on this one. Maybe wires on a Mark II, because that's kind of the sportier one. This is kind of more executive wafting, maybe. But that's my favourite. But are you a wires fan?
I'm very much a wires fan. I just think back to the days of Graham Hill and the Coombs Jaguar. I know it was a Mark II, but it was Bristol Racing Green. It was just the wires. It was just something that, you know, resonates with me when I was growing up and looking at these old pictures of these racing cars. But
Well, it'd be boring if we were all the same.
of course it was, because everything would be black and the same.
Yes. Right.
Now,
This isn't black.
no, far from it. This, well, where'd you start with this?
This is a really early minivan, isn't it?
It is, and it's been restored. It is very, very nice. It's very well put together. You know, the sliding windows, the bigger steering wheels, everything it should be. It's just a nice, nice example. And again, going back to the pickup we had next door, there are less of these now than there are pickups probably, and especially ones from, you know, at the very beginning where this car hails from. But this has got a beautiful service pack with a beautiful history. It's got a couple of logbooks, new and old. One of them's the original Buff logbook, I believe. It's just nice with a nice pack with it. And then last but not least, we have this beauty. And this really is a beauty. This is a beautiful car. It's had an older restoration, but it is still beautiful. The engine bay detail is out of this world. You need to have a look at it on our website. The colour combination, I personally think is great. There's the red over cream. And guess what? It's got wires. But anyway, it's just a nice car. What do you think of this, Damian?
No, as it should have wires. I know we talked a lot about paint, but I mean, wow. This is just the
Beautiful.
classic 50s sports car look, isn't it? I mean, it's just beautiful. Lovely wooden steering wheel. You know, and like you said, wires are perfect on a sports car of this era. So, I mean, God, wouldn't you feel $1 million if you drove into a car show in one of these?
Anywhere. You know, I look at the car, the chrome's fantastic, you know, the lights are clear, the interior's lovely with the grey leather. It really is a great example, is this. I really do like this car.
This is
and it's the four-seater. It is. But look at the carpets, look at the dash, it's lovely. Yeah. It's beautiful. So, there you go.
So some really interesting cars there, chaps.
Yep, and bikes. I like
absolutely.
The bikes.
I think that concludes the video, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so thanks
now.
for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because it does help us to create content like this. And also, don't forget, the auction is fast approaching in just over a month's time, isn't it?
It is. It's the Saturday, the 13th of April. We start at 10 o'clock sharp. Doors open at 9 o'clock. But don't forget, you can come along on the Wednesday afternoon, Thursday and Friday to view all the cars and bikes, of which there will be a whole lot more by then. But we'll keep you up to speed on that, and we'll see you soon.